Hey, Dan Halley. It is July 15th, so just a continuation of kind of an operational overview. So this is where we're getting ready to come in. We got the muckers in town. We've got the powder magazines, all the drill equipment. So it's all here. It's all coming in as we just keep moving everything forward. So this is where we're kind of come back in. So this here, this elevation is 250 feet below the upper tunnel. So the upper tunnel we know is mined. We'll actually use this water as a sump. It's gonna work well for us. Good mine water. Swimming pool, but this is water that we can use with the drills. You can see that's the vein that they were chasing back then. So literally 258 feet below the elevation of the upper tunnel. And you can see where we're at. So this is the phase that we're going to drive in. So we're roughly 35 feet away from being directly underneath the stope that they originally mined. Now, that vein up there is, 6 to 18 inches wide. This vein down here is 4 feet wider. And what we understand about the Warren District is these veins get richer and wider at depth. That's what the information says. So our geologist, Steve Dobson, has been really exploring this, doing some grind studies, looking at material that we brought out of here as we were driving this drift. And we essentially have been using it for some roadbed fill because we didn't anticipate that we were close enough to really have any gold that's recoverable. But Steve wanted to double check, and so we tested it. And essentially 100 pounds of ore that was in diluted material, but we estimate, 100. He was able to recover free gold from that. And free gold recovery, again, from 100 pounds, was just over 13 grams. So the free gold itself was just over a gram, and that's just coarse free gold. And we put it in nitric solution to see if we lost any weight. With silver loss, we lost nothing. So that's really encouraging, and I'll include some pictures of that, which we've shared. Now, what we know about the size of the stope that's above us is that stope was just shy of 100 feet in length. They had mined it 75 feet in height, and they had mined it just over 3 feet wide. So what we know is we know this should be at least 100 feet in length, this particular body, that we look to mine this 4 to 6 feet, possibly a little bit. We'll figure that out. But let's just say for easy math, we did 4 feet. And then, we've got 150 feet, clear up to 258 feet. We won't go that high because we don't want to go into the next tunnel up. But that's a lot of material, and I'll do some calculations and have that in the next video for you, because we know that this material on average weighs about 4,500 pounds per cubic yard. So I'll put together that for you. The historical information on the Lucky Bend was when it was first started to be mined in 1862, 1863. Those production records that it was listed in a newspaper article that they were in production, and they were recovering, their ore was worth between $90 a ton and $180 a ton. And gold at that time was roughly $19 an ounce. So those are some pretty big numbers that we could run into. So when you start to look at this, even if we just recovered 2 ounces per ton, which is incredible, do the math, 2 ounces per ton, we're going to be running our current test mill, that runs anywhere from 2 to 5 tons a day. Not as efficient as the new one will be, but you can start to see where the numbers go. And what I'm talking about is not necessarily the volume, but it's the ounces you recover, not the amount of dirt that you process. So that's our plan to get us into revenue soon. Much faster than the unknown of trying to figure out the metallurgy of the stockpiled ore. And I'll give an explanation of why this doesn't have the PGMs and why the others do. So I'll do that in another video. But we've got a lot going on. We've got a lot planned. Once the explosives are here, the mining crew is now in town. The drill equipment, we're just finalizing because we're going to get going after this. We're going to start as soon as we can, start moving this material. And so what we're going to do is we drive into this, because in the wintertime, we don't want to be battling the road. And so as we do this testing, there's a raise that goes to the surface in the tunnel above us. And so we'll drive to that between now and winter. So we'll drive into that, and then we'll do a raise up, and then we'll do an elevator so that we can bring ore from this lower level up to by where the milling facility is, so we're not having to haul up and down the snowy road in the winter. So we're even looking at those kind of things. It's going to be a great plan, but it's a lot of work, and I'm going to do some pretty detailed information just so people can understand what we're doing and how we're spending money. So Dan Howley signing off from the lower tunnel on the Lucky Bend vein, also known as the Little Giant vein. Signing off.
So what do we always say, Steve, about this? We got what? We got gold, baby. We got gold.